Alright folks, I've got a few things that I'm sort of debating talking to you about. I've kind of hit that point now where I think it's probably worth persevering with these videos. Not even because it's about stand-up, but it's just, it helps my brain. It's nothing to do with you. I don't mind if you watch this or not. It doesn't change the fact that I'm going to do it. But it makes my brain focus on a particular topic. And one of the things I was going to talk to you about, which I might save for the future, is how and I would love to know if other people have this, my brain can only really focus on one thing at a time. But when it focuses on it, it's absolute pure obsession. For instance, at the weekend, stand-up was all I could think about. So I did the course on the Saturday, and then I had an improv showcase that evening. But my mind wasn't in improv, or it wasn't in Saturday evening. It was literally in stand-up. Every time I heard a phrase or watched something, part of my brain filed it in this would be a funny thing to talk about in a stand-up routine. And it's horrible, that. And it does make me think that my brain is wired as a stand-up, which is strange because I always saw myself as an improviser. But when I see something, I have a few thoughts, and none of it is just to leave it alone. It's either to subvert it, it's to see the ridiculous, or it's to comment on what makes that unusual. Ridiculous and unusual sound the same, but I feel it's different, and I will explain that in another video. I did say that I was going to talk about Mumsie today. I'm sort of debating that. And also there was a third thing, which is now forgotten, so this video won't be about that third thing. My mum is great, let's be honest. She's put up with me for 28 years. She is just so thoughtful, and she's always there for me and my sister, and my dad, of course. But she comes out with some absolute nonsense sometimes. And often when I go home, I either write them down or I go home for the enjoyment of them. And there's only two that have really stuck in my mind. And there's loads of other examples. Even when I'm on Zoom with her, it takes a good 40 minutes for us to get the Zoom connected. You've probably seen a video already on my channel, because either we can get the video and not the sound, or the sound and not the video, or neither. Either way, it just takes a long time. But the two things that she's said in recent years that have absolutely taken me to places I never thought I'd go is, the first is about ISIS. And I was doing a show about refugees at this time, and ISIS was in the news a lot. And there was a news report saying how ISIS were targeting Westerners, which you and I know are people who come from the western side of the world with West views, kind of like Americans, most of Europe, and ourselves, England and the UK. Westerners, obviously you got Eastern and West. My mum asked John, who is the name of my dad, John, are we Westerners or are we from Yorkshire? And there's two elements to this. Firstly, clearly she doesn't know what a Westerner is, which I'm like, that's fine. You know, this concept is probably something that, unless you've experienced it or learnt about it, why would you know about it? But the Yorkshire thing is what's really baffling, because we come from Derbyshire, which is in the East Midlands. So for whatever reason, she chose to say a county that we definitely didn't live in. And also this idea that a Westerner is the same as an English person. It's not. Are we Westerners or are we from Yorkshire? It was just baffling, and it killed me for a while. The second one, and this I wasn't at, but Dad recited it. And they were in London, and they were walking around quite a big city, and then suddenly all these sirens start going, and there's panic, and Mum starts to worry. One siren goes, and then another, and it's like there's some sort of emergency happening. And Mum starts retreating a little bit and goes, John, I don't think we can continue this. There's all these police cars and I'm a bit worried. Which is totally understandable, until Dad pointed out the police station was at the other side of the road. All these cars were doing were just heading to the police station and parking up. But Mum, in her infinite wisdom, thought that there was major emergency happening and they were all running to it and that she was going to get caught up in it. So you can probably see where I come from via that. Anyway, it was Mother's Day this weekend. Hopefully you all did good stuff for your mum.
In this cost of living.
I sent a card and an Amazon gift, which who knows if it arrived in time. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah, more tomorrow.